Imagine a secret brotherhood, hidden throughout history, their knowledge encoded in cryptic texts, obscure symbols, and esoteric rituals. They claimed to hold the keys to immortality, the secrets of the universe, and the ability to turn base metals into gold. But were they just deluded dreamers? Or did they uncover something far more profound? What if I told you that the real alchemists were not just medieval chemists playing with fire and metal? What if their true pursuit wasn't gold, but something far more valuable? Something that could change the course of a human life, even today. By the end of this video, you'll see alchemy in a way you never have before. Because the real transformation was never about metal. It was about something much deeper. Let's unravel the mystery. When we think of alchemy, most of us picture shadowy figures hunched over bubbling cauldrons, trying to turn base metals into gold. But alchemy was never just about metals. At its core, alchemy was a philosophy, a way of understanding the nature of transformation, whether in the physical world or within oneself. The word alchemy comes from the Arabic term alchemia, which was derived from the Greek chemeia, a term used for the mixing of substances. But in truth, the real alchemy was about something much deeper than chemistry. It was about transmutation, not just of elements, but of the human soul. Alchemy is built on the principle that everything is in a constant state of change. And if you could understand the laws that governed that change, you could control it. Alchemy had three main goals: the transmutation of metals, the pursuit of turning base metals into gold, the elixir of life, the quest for immortality or perfect health, the perfection of the soul, the belief that a person could purify and elevate themselves to a higher state of existence. While many believed in the literal transformation of metals, the true alchemists understood that the greatest transformation was internal. The legendary philosopher's stone was not just a mythical object, it was a symbol of the ultimate enlightenment. The real question was never, can we turn lead into gold? The real question was, can we turn ourselves into something greater? And for the true alchemists, that was the only pursuit that ever mattered. Alchemy's origins stretch deep into the past, further than most people realize. The earliest alchemists weren't medieval Europeans. They were Egyptians, Chinese, Indians, and Mesopotamians, experimenting with nature's elements thousands of years before the modern world was even imagined. In ancient Egypt, alchemy was known as the sacred art of chemia, named after the black fertile soil of the Nile. Egyptian priests and scholars were masters of chemistry and transformation, but they believed that physical transmutation was just a reflection of a higher spiritual process. One of the most mysterious figures in alchemy is Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary being, part god, part human, said to have written the famous Emerald Tablet. This cryptic text is believed to hold the secrets of reality itself, summarized in a simple but profound statement: as above, so below. This phrase meant that the same principles governing the heavens also governed human life and nature. To the ancient alchemists, understanding this hidden connection meant unlocking the secrets of the universe. At the same time, in China, Taoist alchemists were obsessed with longevity and immortality. They believed that the human body was like a metal, capable of being purified and refined through internal alchemy. They experimented with breathing techniques, herbal medicines, and meditation, trying to transform their own qi, life energy, into a force that could extend life, perhaps even indefinitely. Chinese alchemists weren't interested in material gold. Their goal was a golden soul, one that could transcend the limits of human existence. In India, alchemy was closely tied to Ayurveda and spiritual enlightenment. The ancient Rasa Sastra tradition focused on metals, minerals, and herbal mixtures, believed to purify the body and extend life. But Indian alchemy also had a deeper goal. It wasn't just about medicine, but about spiritual transformation. The body was seen as a vessel, and through alchemy, yoga, and meditation, one could refine their inner essence and reach a state of divine consciousness. For these ancient cultures, alchemy was never just about the material world. It was about the soul's journey toward perfection. And it was this idea that would spread across civilizations, shaping everything from medieval Europe to modern science. Most people believed that the Philosopher's Stone was a real substance, a mystical material that could turn base metals into gold. But what if the real Philosopher's Stone wasn't a stone at all? Many of the greatest alchemists believed that the true transmutation wasn't about gold. It was about the transformation of the human soul. To them, the Philosopher's Stone was a symbol, a metaphor for the journey to enlightenment, wisdom, and self-mastery. The alchemists believed that the transformation of the soul mirrored the transformation of metals. The process of spiritual alchemy followed four main stages: nigredo, blackening; the breakdown of the old self, a necessary destruction before rebirth; albedo, whitening, purification, where one begins to transcend their past limitations; citrinitas, yellowing, the dawn of new wisdom, where enlightenment starts to shine through; rubedo, reddening, the final stage of perfection, where the soul reaches its highest potential. These weren't just abstract ideas. They were the foundation of the alchemist's journey, a journey that continues to inspire philosophy, psychology, and self-improvement even today. This is why so many ancient texts spoke in riddles and symbols, because the real work of alchemy wasn't about chemicals in a lab. It was about the transformation of the human being. Alchemy wasn't just a science, it was a philosophy, and it was a way of life. As time moved forward, alchemy evolved. What was once hidden in temples and whispered among sages found its way into the medieval world. This was the golden age of Western alchemy, where mysticism and science stood side by side. And among the most fascinating figures of this era was a man named Paracelsus. Paracelsus was one of the boldest and most controversial alchemists of his time. While most medieval scholars followed traditional beliefs, Paracelsus rejected dogma and sought truth through experimentation. He believed that the human body was like a miniature universe, governed by the same forces as the cosmos. His work laid the foundation for modern medicine, and he famously said, "The dose makes the poison." This simple but profound statement became the basis of pharmacology, the science of how substances affect the body. But Paracelsus wasn't just a physician, he was an alchemist in the truest sense. He believed that illness wasn't just physical, but also spiritual, and that true healing required a balance between the body, mind, and soul. To him, alchemy was never just about gold. It was about understanding the hidden connections of life itself. One of the most surprising figures in alchemy was Sir Isaac Newton, one of the greatest scientists of all time. Newton is known for his work on gravity, optics, and calculus. But what most people don't know is that he was also obsessed with alchemy. He wrote hundreds of pages on alchemical experiments, searching for the Philosopher's Stone and the key to ultimate knowledge. For Newton, alchemy was not just a mystical pursuit. It was a way to understand the laws of nature. His belief in hidden forces helped lay the groundwork for modern physics, showing that alchemy wasn't just superstition. It was the seed from which real science would grow. But alchemy wasn't only shaping the Western world. In the East, a different kind of alchemy was unfolding, one focused on the transmutation of the soul. While Western alchemists were searching for gold and enlightenment, Eastern alchemists were searching for immortality and spiritual awakening. In China and India, Alchemy wasn't just about substances, it was about life itself. Taoist alchemists believed that the body was a vessel of energy. If this energy could be purified and strengthened, a person could become immortal. They practiced Qigong, Tai Chi, and meditation, believing that internal alchemy could refine a person's Qi, life force, to achieve spiritual ascension. Some even believed in the existence of immortal beings, known as the Xian, who had unlocked the secrets of eternal life. But Taoist alchemy wasn't just about living forever. It was about achieving harmony with the universe. In India, alchemy was known as Rasasastra, and it was deeply connected to Ayurveda, the ancient science of life. Indian alchemists sought to create divine medicines, substances that could restore youth, heal disease, and expand consciousness. But the true goal of Rasayana was not just physical health, it was spiritual liberation. Through yoga, meditation, and sacred herbs, they believed a person could transcend suffering and reach moksha, ultimate enlightenment. Both Taoist and Indian alchemy saw the human body as the true alchemical vessel, a place where the greatest transformation could take place. And though their methods were different, their message was the same. The real gold isn't outside of us, it's within. Many people think alchemy was just an ancient fantasy, but in reality, it was the foundation of modern science. Without alchemy, we wouldn't have chemistry, medicine, or psychology as we know them today. Alchemy's experiments led to the discovery of many elements and compounds, things like phosphorus, sulfur, and acids. What began as mystical speculation eventually turned into scientific methodology. By the 18th century, alchemy had evolved into chemistry, with scientists like Antoine Lavoisier laying down the laws of matter and transformation. The dream of transmutation had been abandoned, or had it? Because today, nuclear physics has shown that elements can be transformed, just not in the way the old alchemists imagined. Atoms can be split, new elements can be created in reactors, and in a way, the dream of alchemy has been realized through modern science. Alchemists were the first experimental physicians. They laid the foundation for pharmacology, discovering that substances could have both healing and poisonous effects, depending on how they were used. Today's modern medicine is deeply rooted in their discoveries. But perhaps the most fascinating evolution of alchemy happened in psychology. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung believed that alchemy was really about inner transformation. He saw the alchemical process as a metaphor for personal growth and self-realization. Jung believed that each person was like a base metal that could be transformed into gold through self-awareness and personal development. He even described individuation, the process of integrating all aspects of oneself, as a kind of spiritual alchemy. Alchemy didn't die, it simply changed its form. So why does alchemy still matter today? Because in many ways, the world we live in is still obsessed with gold. Not the literal gold of alchemists, but the gold of wealth, success, and power. People chase external riches, but they ignore the alchemy of the soul. True alchemy was never just about changing metals. It was about changing ourselves. And this is where the real lesson of alchemy lies. You are the alchemist. Your struggles, your hardships, your failures, they are all part of the process. Like lead, we all start as something imperfect. But through transformation, through learning, through self-discovery, we turn ourselves into gold. This is why alchemy still matters, not as an old, forgotten science, but as a timeless truth. The greatest transmutation isn't lead into gold. It's ignorance into wisdom. It's fear into courage. It's darkness into light. And if you understand this, then you already know who the real alchemists were. They weren't just medieval scientists. They were seekers of truth. And that means you can be one too. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your mind, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear this. And remember, the real gold is within you. Until next time, stay curious.